Welcome to the Living Healthy Podcast, where you can improve your quality of life by making solid and informed healthy decisions. I'm your host, Eddie Randall. Season 1, Episode 1 of the Living Healthy Podcast. I got a lot of great things to talk about tonight, particularly vegetables and fruits that we can use to incorporate into our lives to boost immunity and overall health. You can literally add years to your life and improve your quality of life by just having a few simple lifestyle changes involving organic fruits and vegetables. I'm just going to be talking about the amazing natural teas and drinks that we can use to boost immunity and overall health. All right, so let's get into it. First one I'm going to talk about is ginger. Now, ginger is a root. It's actually a rhizome. Its official scientific name is Zingiber officinale, and it's actually classified as a vegetable. It has a tart, pungent taste. It's very sharp, spicy. It's been used in Ayurvedic medicine for thousands of years. It contains a phytochemical called gingerol. Now, these phytochemicals, they're basically found in all plants, and plants use them as a defense mechanism to fight off bacteria and parasites. It also has antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. These antioxidants, they neutralize free radicals, and they fight or limit cytokines or the cytokine storm, which cause inflammation. Now, even though inflammation is a natural, normal response in the body, left unchecked, inflammation can lead to debilitating diseases and, unfortunately, cancer. So it's good that there are things that we can incorporate into our diets, natural things out there that can help to fight against inflammation and disease. Ginger also contains vitamin C, vitamin B3, magnesium, and potassium. Ginger can help to aid in digestion. It can also help to cleanse the body. And when you consume ginger tea, it can have a relaxing and calming effect. And it's also packed full of nutrients. Now, in preparation for making ginger or ginger tea, you can just grate some ginger. Well, first you'd have to scrape off the outer skin. Make sure you take care of doing that and not to cut yourself or anything. You can grate some, put it in a pot with some water, bring it to a boil, let it sit for a little bit, then you can strain it. Depending on how you like the taste, you can put a spoonful of brown sugar in there or a spoonful of Manuka honey. And that's one way that you can have it. And it's a great way to wind down after a very long, hard day at work or after a very stressful work week. The other way of having it, and it's perhaps my favorite, is ginger beer. Now, ginger beer does not contain any alcohol in it. It's just the name that's been chosen for it. With ginger beer, you would, again, scrape the ginger, grate it. You would put it into a large pitcher with enough water to fill the pitcher, and you'd let it sit for a couple of hours or perhaps half a day, depending on how strong you like to have the ginger. Now, after it sits that long, or as long as you like it to, you strain it. Some people add nutmeg to it. Some people add like a little vanilla essence, or you don't have to do that. You could just put enough organic brown sugar in there to your taste, and then put it in the fridge for a couple of hours, let it get nice and chilled, and then you can have it. It's a great drink. It kind of tickles the throat, opens up the airways. It's a great drink to have, and it's absolutely one of my favorites. So I really advocate for having the ginger. Okay, and the next thing I'll talk about is blueberries. Now, I love blueberries, and blueberries have a significant amount of health benefits. They're full of vitamin C, antioxidants, magnesium, as well as zinc. They can help to fight off cancer by way of the antioxidants. They also help to lower inflammation, which is good for bones. and they're rich in anthocyanins. These anthocyanins are phytochemicals, and it's actually a water-soluble pigment rich in antioxidants that gives the blueberry that dark, deep, rich color. Now, also the blueberries fight free radicals. They work with other molecules in the body, and they help to improve the memory. And there are a lot of studies out there that show this. One study in particular I was looking at the National Center for Biotechnology. They have information that showed that in older animals, they gave them a blueberry supplement, and over time it helped to improve their cognition as well as to increase the brain function. Another study that I was reading through the University of Cincinnati, they gave an older group or separate groups, older groups, blueberries, and they showed that these blueberries over time, they reduced or slowed the neurodegenerative impairment that these individuals were suffering from. So there's a lot of studies out there showing the benefits of blueberries, and I love blueberries on top of that. So this is another reason why I stand behind them and why I'll advocate for them. And also in regard to blueberries, they're very good for weight loss. They're high in fiber, low in calories. And as you know, with the high fiber content, it makes you feel fuller. You'll eat less, in turn losing calories. So it's a win-win situation. In preparation of having blueberry as a drink, there are a couple of ways you can have it. You can have it as a blueberry tea. What I would advise is, bringing some water to a boil, and after it's boiled, I would turn off the heat to the water. I'd put some blueberries in there, let them sit in there for a few minutes, and then after it's done that, I would strain it and then drink it. You can drink it as is, or as with the ginger, you can put some sugar, organic brown sugar, or Manuka honey in there. But I tend to have the blueberry tea straight the way it is. It's just such a great taste. The other way is by having blueberry juice. Now the blueberry juice, that's where you could probably just buy the 32-ounce bottle that many of these organic food stores have. They can be a bit pricey, but when you're on the go, or if you just don't have the time to have the tea, that's also a great alternative. You just put the bottle in the fridge, open it up, and enjoy. You get all your antioxidants, all your nutrients, and everything. So that's another way of having it. The next thing I'd like to talk about is basil tea. Now basil tea, particularly the plant or the leaves, I would advocate getting those. Basil tea it's a great plant, and it's a great tea to have. It's packed full of vitamin K, omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin C, calcium, loads of phytochemicals, and it contains eugenol. This is found in basil as well as cinnamon and cloves, and it prevents blood clotting by preventing platelets from sticking together. It also fights inflammation as well as arthritis pain. Now, as far as the leaves, it may be a little hard to find these. Sometimes it's just easier for people to go to the store and then you see the tea in the box on the shelf, the basil tea, you have it that way. However, I would advocate for the leaves, because in China, Asia, and many countries in Europe, they actually use the leaf. And there's a reason why they use that leaf, because all the properties and everything that you can get from it. And over there, it's more readily available. So in advocating for the leaf, I would say if you really want to get into it that way, go to a home improvement store and purchase a basil plant. Some of them can be a bit pricey, but that's because they know the benefits that you can get out of these things. So that's why. However, when it comes to improving your overall health and boosting immunity and improving your quality of life and adding years to your life, the benefits outweigh the cost. So I would advocate going for that plant if you can, or if they don't have the plant, buy the seeds, cultivate the plant, use the leaves once they've blossomed, use it that way. Or if there's a organic food store, grocery store, or they got an organic section in that store, look and see if they have the basil leaves. If they don't have them there, see if you can get the manager or something to order them. Sometimes they can do things like that for you. So there are alternatives out there that try to get these things because it's very beneficial to the body. As far as preparing it, once you have the leaves, you can just boil some water with the leaves in there. Just like with the blueberry and ginger, you let it cool off after a while, strain it. You can drink it that way. If you want, you can just squeeze a little bit of lemon in there, or you can just grate some lemon zest in there to give it a little kick. Again, that's a personal preference. So if you desire to do that, but I'm all on board for basil, particularly basil leaves in the tea. The next thing I'd like to discuss is celery and cabbage juice blend. Now, as far as the celery, it has tons of nutrients, minerals, fiber, and flavonoids. One of the flavonoids called luteolin, it can weaken cancer cells by slowing cancer cell synthesis, which is incredible, and that's awesome news. It also has another flavonoid called alpiginin. It also weakens cancer cells, but it does it by binding to estrogen receptors. And also, the alpiginin helps to promote the creation of nerve cells by neutralizing free radicals in the brain. This is how it can fight neurodegenerative disorders like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. And also, there's a compound called molybdenum, and it breaks down toxic chemicals that enters the body. And celery also contains manganese, which helps to regulate blood glucose levels. So having something like that in your diet can help to lower the spike of your blood glucose and insulin in the body, which is also going to be a good thing. As far as the cabbage is concerned, cabbage is also packed full of nutrients and minerals. Has a lot of folate, which is extremely necessary for creating DNA and cell functions. This is also important for everyone, but in particularly to expectant mothers. It has lots of phosphorus, which works with calcium to maintain bone health. Lots of antioxidants that lower the bad cholesterol, the low density lipoproteins. And it also has a lot of beta carotene, which is good for your skin, promotes healthy skin growth and lustrous, vibrant skin. And it's also packed full of fiber. More fiber, you feel fuller, you can lose weight that way. And preparing it, you can juice the cabbage and juice the celery. And if you desire, you could probably put an apple in there, give it a little bit of sweetness or so, depending on what how you like it. If you don't have a juicer, you can blend the cabbage, then strain it. You can blend the celery and strain it, and then you can just combine them, and then you'll still get the same good benefits. So however you can get it done, try to get it done, because it's a great thing to have. Also, in regard to juice blends, I like carrot, celery, spinach, and apple juice blend. That's one of my favorites. As far as the carrots, they're packed full of vitamins, nutrients. They're high in fiber, low in calories, and lots of beta carotene for the skin, high doses of vitamin A for the eyes, potassium for the heart, and they also work to fight against cardiovascular disease and also atherosclerosis. I had already covered the celery a few minutes ago, so I won't go into that too much. But the next thing in the carrot, celery, spinach, apple juice blend would be the spinach. Spinach is high in vitamin K, has a high amount of folate and quercetin, which is a flavonoid. It's also high in iron, and it's a good source of magnesium. Now, the spinach benefits with the folate. It's vital in the synthesis of red blood cells, DNA synthesis, and also it has large amounts of vitamin K, which are essential for blood clotting. The quercetin, it helps against prostate cancer and infections, and it also has anti-inflammatory properties. And it works as an antihistamine, so it can help people who have seasonal allergies. The iron content of the spinach, it fights against fatigue and anemia. It's great for anyone that they may have anemia or something like that, or any type of hematology type issue. Something like this can actually help them, especially when they combine it in this juice blend. And spinach also helps to build muscles. It also has a great deal of magnesium, which are necessary for cell function and to help to speed up our metabolism. It also promotes healthy skin as well as healthy nails. As far as the apples, they contain insoluble fiber and lots of antioxidants. The insoluble fiber, which is particularly in the skin, it aids in digestion by helping food pass through our system. The antioxidants in the apple, they fight free radicals. For example, the chlorogenic acid and fluorizidin, these are antioxidants which fight against diabetes by reducing blood glucose levels, and they can also help people who have asthma. It also has quercetin, which can help fight against cataracts by preventing oxidation of the lens of the eye. In preparing the carrot, celery, spinach, and juice blend, you would just simply combine all the ingredients, go ahead and juice them, let them chill, and enjoy. Again, if you don't have a blender, if you don't have a juicer, you can just blend everything, strain them, and combine them and enjoy. It's just a little more work. But either way, you can still have the benefits of this juice blend. The next thing I'd like to talk about is garlic tea. Now, garlic in particular, it's part of the onion family, and it's a monocotyledonous plant. Has a very strong smell, great taste, and I love garlic. Garlic contains allicin. It's a sulfur compound that works like a statin. So it can actually bring down cholesterol that's in the blood, which is great, and it actually reduces blood pressure. So, incorporating garlic into the diet of someone that has high blood pressure or high cholesterol, that's, something that they may want to consider. However, you may want to clear all that with your doctor first before you, go ahead strong into that. The allicin also contains antifungal and antibacterial properties. Allicin is used by garlic as a defense mechanism. I was reading a paper by B.C. Matthew and R.S. Bijou, Neuroprotective Effects of Garlic, a review, and they were showing that the oxidation in cells had been linked to Alzheimer's and other neurodegenerative diseases, and garlic would fight against that oxidation, and it would help to protect the brain cells. And I think that's a phenomenal thing. So, just as with blueberries, there's a lot of research, a lot of science, a lot of studies out there that show that these natural, wholesome foods that we can get, fruits and vegetables, they can actually make a big impact and a big difference in your life. Garlic also has anti-inflammatory properties that help to fight against the hardening of arteries. And breathing in the allicin, in the garlic, it can help to clear the airways by thinning mucus. Now, by preparing garlic, I would just only use it as garlic tea. I would cook with it and everything, but for purposes of what I'm talking about here today, we'll just use it as a garlic tea only. I would just, again, boil some water, put some cloves of, a few cloves of garlic in the water, after it cools down. I would strain it, and then you can go ahead and drink it. Now, the taste may not be appealing to some, which I can understand. So you may want to have a few organic grapes handy to, pop those in your mouth to try to get the taste of the garlic out. Or you can just put have a spoonful of Manuka honey, put that in your mouth afterwards, to try to take out the garlic taste. The next thing I will talk about is another juice blend. Now this one is watermelon and lime, and by far it's one of my favorites, particularly on hot summer days. As far as the watermelon, it's a low-calorie fruit. It's very delicious, packed full of antioxidants such as lycopene, has vitamin C, L-citrulline, and the majority of the watermelon is actually water, so that's good for you as well. The lycopene, that's that antioxidant that's inside watermelon, it helps to protect the skin. In some studies, watermelon have been shown to reduce pain. The vitamin C, along with immunity and building up the immune system, it can help to produce collagen and help the skin in very good ways. Keep the skin nice, healthy, bright, clean. And the amino acid L-citrulline, it improves the blood flow and it also decreases blood pressure. And the high water content that is in the watermelon, it helps to aid in digestion as well as hydration. So it's a win-win all around so far with the watermelons. As far as the lime in the watermelon lime juice blend, lime is packed with vitamin C, citric acid. Has microbial properties. The vitamin C, as good for boosting immunity. It can also help you to absorb iron. The citric acid that's in it is great for helping people who have kidney stones to pass them or to prevent kidney stones altogether. And the citric acid also boosts your metabolism. And the lime also contains microbial microbial properties that can help to fight gingivitis. In preparing the juice blend, I would just simply juice the watermelon and as well as the lime, or just add the lime juice to it, and put it in the fridge for a few hours. Let it get nice and cool, nice and cold, and then have at it. Have yourself a power punch drink with all these antioxidants and all these great properties that will deliver nutrients to your body. It's a great way and a fun way to to stay healthy with that watermelon lime juice blend. The next thing I'd like to discuss is rosemary. Now, rosemary is a member of the mint family. It's in the same family with oregano and basil. Rosemary is very high in antioxidants, and it can offer neurological protection, has lots of calcium, lots of potassium. It's also used as a preservative to increase the shelf life of perishables, which I think is pretty awesome. We can just show you how unique and how special and vital rosemary is. And it can also help you with your eye health, and it can also help in hair growth. It contains carnosic acid. It's an antioxidant, and it helps to protect the brain. It can aid in digestion. The smell is very therapeutic, and it can help people concentrate. There have been studies out there backing this up. I was looking at an article online on the Frontiers in Neuroscience website, and they were showing that how rosemary can protect against brain injury after suffering a hemorrhage. So, the damage is already done, but the rosemary, simple as it is, it can help to prevent things from getting worse. And, when you want to, especially with a brain injury, you can't grow those cells back, but the rosemary, they can, they have an impact in helping to protect the brain. It also protects the signaling pathways in the brain during stressful conditions. I was looking at another study online. They were showing that in Germany, they found that rosemary helps with digestion, and they use it to treat heartburn. And it also has high anti-inflammatory properties that aid in an upset stomach, as the rosemary stimulates bile, which can aid in digestion of food. So that's a fantastic thing. The carcinic acid in rosemary, antioxidant, it also protects the retinas from degenerating. So rosemary has a plethora of properties that are just, amazing. And the rosemary aids in hair growth by inhibiting a byproduct of testosterone that stimulates hair growth. Now, when preparing the rosemary, I would just, take the rosemary, boil it in some water, soak for a little while, and then, well, not for a little while. You don't want the tea to get too cool, but you want to just make some tea out of it. Just make sure it's cool enough warm enough for you to drink it, and then you can just have it that way. You don't really have to put anything sweet in it unless you want to, but most of the time when I've had rosemary, I just drink it as is, and it's enjoyable. The next thing I'd like to talk about is lemon water. Now, a few years back, people were talking about the lemon with the cayenne pepper and the maple syrup. That was like a diet fad for a while. People wanted to do a quick crash to lose weight. And yeah, that was fun and good and everything. But I decided just to go with lemon water when I was researching all this, because I found out that lemons have tremendous properties, and they can offer you so much just all on their own that you don't really need to put anything else in. You can if you want to, but for the sake of this podcast, I'm just going over the lemons by themselves, the lemon water. Lemons, they're full of antioxidants. They can help to improve insulin resistance, and as you know, packed with vitamin C, they can inhibit joint pain. They're great for weight loss, and they can help to combat or prevent kidney stones, just like the limes can. The lemons, they're the antioxidants in them, they improve blood glucose levels. They decrease the insulin resistance through the soluble fiber that's in the lemons. And the anti-inflammatory properties, they can limit the joint pain, which can cut down on the inflammation. And they also act as a cleanser. And you can drink this before a meal to hydrate, just a glass of lemon water to make yourself feel full. That way you can take in a smaller meal. And another thing you can do is, instead of drinking that, a soda or whatever type of sugary drink that you may have with a meal, you can just replace it with a glass of lemon water and just try that. You'd be surprised how, simple and easy that is to get used to. And then before you know it, those extra calories that you would have taken in with that other drink, you'll see those disappear from your waist, and it'll be easier for you to lose weight. And as with the limes, the high acidity content of the lemons, works against kidney stones. The lemon, it freshens your breath, it makes your mouth, your teeth feel clean, and it's just a great thing to have, and a great simple thing to have, the lemon water. And to have the lemon water, what you can do is take 3 or 4 lemons, cut them up, cut them in half, squeeze them into a pitcher with some water, and make sure you put the pulp in there as well. At least that's what I like to do. I like to cut off the pulp and put it in there, and then you can just have that, and just drink it throughout the day, throughout the week, or however. And it's a great thing to have. You get all those benefits and everything. A lemon is a truly underrated fruit, at least in my opinion. The next thing I'd like to talk about is chamomile tea. Chamomile, it's the most ancient medicinal herb in the history of the world. I mean, it's been used for thousands and thousands of years. It belongs to the Asteraceae family, which is the daisy family, and that's really what it looks like. It looks like a little daisy. Has lots of flavonoids like patoletin and apigenin, and it's packed full of antioxidants. It's good for the skin. The patoletin has anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties, which reduce pain and fight free radicals. The apigenin, it helps to sedate, to soothe and relax. It does this by binding to the benzodiazepine receptors in the brain, and it helps to create a calming and sleepy effect. And oddly enough, or to show you what they do, a lot of companies, they put this component into therapy candles because they know the calming effect of the chamomile. So that's another thing to consider when looking at chamomile. And on top of that, it's packed full of antioxidants, which help to fight colds and flu bugs. And that's especially important now, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. It wouldn't hurt just to, knock back some chamomile tea just to help to stay, healthy and make sure that you don't try not to catch anything. Chamomile can also help to fight bacteria in the mouth. It also has high antifungal properties. These same properties can help your skin clear up from acne as well as eczema. In preparation, much like the basil leaves, I would try to go for the actual chamomile flower. You can buy the chamomile in the store, but in the box but it's all like crushed up and dried up in the tea bag, which is fine if you want to do it that way. But if you can, same thing, opt for the flowers. Go to I'm not sure if a lot of organic food stores would have that, but you could check that out and see. Or again, a home improvement store, you can buy the chamomile flowers, have it that way. It's up to you. You can have the flowers, the tea, and for both the flowers, meaning just the flower in the boiling water, or you can have the tea bag in the boiling water. Either way, it's a good thing to do. And then you can just put some lemon zest in there if you want, to spice it up a little, and a little sugar if you want, brown organic sugar, or manuka honey. The next thing I'd like to discuss is the kale and kiwi juice blend. Now, kale contains a lot of flavonoids like camphorol. Kale reduces vascular inflammation, which is always great. It prevents fat absorption. It contains myrixitin, and it has a decent amount of copper, as well as a decent amount of manganese. Now, the camphorol acts as a chemopreventive agent and prevents cancer cells from forming. Also, camphorol inhibits an enzyme that absorbs fat. The myrixitin is a phenol, and it's used as a preservative in foods, but it also targets and inhibits leukemia cells, which is fantastic. Copper, that is in the kale, it's necessary to create red blood cells. 1 cup of kale has about 20% of the daily recommended value. Vegetarians need to keep something like that in mind because, obviously you're not a vegetarian. If you're a vegetarian, you're not eating meat. You still want to, boost or have adequate red blood cells. You don't want to run into any issues. So having certain amount of leafy greens can replace the copper and certain benefits that you would get from eating meat. So knowing that those are out there as alternatives are always a good thing. And the manganese, which is in the kale, is very necessary for enzyme production. So again, that's a win-win situation. The other part of that juice blend, the kiwi, kiwis are special fruits, and they're just amazing. They have lots of vitamins like zeaxanthin and lutein, and other nutrients as well. Both are similar compounds. They're not quite enantiomers, but they're very similar in structure. Kiwi is also high in serotonin, which is a neurotransmitter. Lots of vitamins, B6, B12, vitamin E, also high in potassium. The zeaxanthin, it's a natural vitamin in the eye, and it protects the eye from damage due to light. The lutein, it's a carotenoid, and it's naturally made by plants. Both the lutein and the zeaxanthin have anti-inflammatory properties. They work to fight glare in the eye, and they convert light signals in the retina, and they help connect them to the brain. Now that's just amazing that you can get that benefit from eating kiwi. And so it's very important for eye health. And the serotonin that's in the kiwi, it can help with mood and digestion. And I had found out that there's actually a lot of serotonin that's in the stomach. So it can also help with sleep, and has the vitamin B6, B12, and vitamin E. They can help with clearing up the skin as well as cardiovascular health. The high potassium that's in it, it creates an unfavorable environment for kidney stones, and it prevents them. So kiwi, lime, and lemon, very good against combating kidney stones. One kiwi has over 200 milligrams of potassium. That's only about 5% of the recommended daily value, but that's just something to keep in mind when you're trying to decide, how many kiwis in a day you want to have, or how much you want to put into kiwi and or the kale and kiwi juice blend. When preparing them, you can just juice them like you would the other juices. Let them get cold and kick back, enjoy. You can even add a little lemon to it if you want to, but again, that's based on your desired taste. Next thing I'd like to talk about are beets. Beets, I love beets. I cook beets; those are good. But the beet juice, I love fresh beet juice. It has an amazing taste. It's crisp. It's delicious, and especially when they're fresh. Nice, robust taste. Good source of inorganic nitrates as well. They contain a lot of folate, a lot of betaline, a lot of iron, and they're a low source of carbohydrates. The inorganic nitrates, they can lower blood pressure. For example, the nitroglycerin, like when people have angina, they may have been prescribed nitroglycerin to help to prevent or mitigate heart attacks. The nitric oxide, it lowers blood pressure. Nitrates naturally occur in the body and in plants and in meat. They give it that red-pink color. When I was in college, I wrote a paper about nitrates and colon cancer and the link to it. The reason I decided to bring this up is because some people may think, oh, there's nitrates in beets. I want to stay away from that. And I always heard nitrates are bad. The nitrates that are linked to colon cancer with red meat, those are man-made nitrates or added nitrates because they put that in the meat to make it look red and pink and pretty, so you buy it. But that cancer is not linked to the natural nitrates that occur in in vegetables like beets. So that's why I was bringing that up, to try to juxtapose or show the difference rather. Beets are actually full of folate. That's also good for pregnant women, and also to create red blood cells. The betaline, it's responsible for that beautiful burgundy red color. It's a phytonutrient and packed full of antioxidants, and it's very good for you. And I've seen some studies online where they've shown that beets actually hamper cell growth, and it can also detoxify the body. The iron content that's in beets can help to increase hemoglobin, and it's a natural food for people who suffer from anemia. And it's a low carb vegetable, so that can help to keep the blood glucose level down and to help to prevent diabetes. In preparation, I would just juice it, put it in the fridge for a few hours, kick back and drink it. It's just delicious, that delicious. You'll love it. If you get some really fresh beets, it's a great taste, a great drink to have. And the last thing I'll talk about here is something that I got recently turned on to, are cloves, and particularly clove tea. I didn't really like cloves growing up. I wasn't really a fan of them, but I actually had clove tea not too long ago, and I discovered how delicious it is. And then when I started researching it and looking into it, it really has a great deal to offer, and I don't think clove tea gets the recognition it deserves. It's just not that. I mean, it's popular, but it's not one of the more popular ones people would pick. That being said, cloves are packed with vitamin C, vitamin E, eugenol, vitamin K, many other nutrients that I've mentioned in other drinks. And also, cloves can help to fight against ulcers. They have many anti-inflammatory properties, and for ulcers, It thickens the gastric mucus. In turn, that protects the stomach lining and to fight against the ulcers. The antioxidants, they work to help the immune system. They expedite the healing of a wound or a cut, and they can also work in the stomach as a way to combat nausea. Now, in preparation of the clove tea, just a normal way you'd make tea, boil a little bit of water, a teaspoon or two of cloves in there, organic cloves if you can, try that. And make sure you boil the water, let it sit for a little bit, strain it, and go to town. I've seen online some people add milk to it. I've never tried that, but some people add milk. I've seen some people try Manuka honey. Some people have tried the clove tea with apple. I haven't tried that either. I've just had the regular clove tea by itself, no sugar, no nothing, and I actually liked it. It didn't taste like how I would have imagined it would taste. It was actually refreshing and delicious. And then when you find out it actually has all these health benefits as well, it makes you want to have it even more, so you can try to get those nutrients and vitamins. Well, that's going to wrap it up for episode 1 of the Living Healthy podcast. I hope you were able to get something out of this. I know I did, and I'm just happy to bring you this content. And I hope to make many, many more episodes, and this is just the start. And remember, living healthy creates a better you.